Good morning, all, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Suvarna Jadhav, working with Cloud.in as a strategic partnership and alliance manager. For today's session, we have Sakshi Chavan as a speaker. Sakshi is working as a sales executive at Cloud.in. Welcome to the webinar Conquer Cloud Obstacles the AWS Well Architected Way. The AWS Well Architected Framework provides a proven blueprint for building resilient, scalable, and secure cloud architectures, but navigating its principle can be overwhelming. This webinar will equip you with the tools and knowledge to overcome common cloud obstacles and achieve success. Before starting the session, I would like to mention a few points. All attendees are muted by default and cannot be unmuted during the session. We will have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. If in case you have any questions in between the session, please raise your hand to grab speaker's attention or ask a question through the question section. I will request Sakshi to start the session. Over to you, Sakshi.
Thank you, Suvarna ma'am, for the introduction. Hello everyone, I am Sakshi Chauhan, working as an inside sales executive at Cloud.in. So today's our webinar topic is Conquer Cloud Obstacles, the AWS Well Architected Way. Before we deep dive into the webinar, I just need to take a few minutes to introduce you about the Cloud.in. So, Cloud.in is a 25 years young company where we have 22,000 plus SME customers. We provide 24/7 NOC services to our customers, and we have 40,000 plus domain managed yet. We also do domain registrar for some leading Indian companies. So at Cloud.in, we have 80 plus team members, and we have our presence at the two locations where headquarters is in the Pune and another location is in Mumbai. Cloud.in has 50 plus certified employees, plus we are working on 200 plus live workloads currently, and also we have 6,000 plus endpoint protect. Cloud.in is an advanced consulting partner of AWS, and we are also reselling and billing partner with Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. For security, we have a partners like Checkpoint, F5, and Fortinet. And for domain managed or managed services, we have New Relic, Druva, VMware, and Confluent. So we have delivered our expertise into various different industries like media and entertainment, edtech, healthcare, e-commerce, manufacturing, NPO NGOs, and many others. For services like we provide implementation and migration, reselling and billing services, cloud consulting and advisory, managed services, and application services as well. So, so far we have achieved some multiple competencies from AWS, which some of which are like AWS CloudFront, education competency, WAF, that is web application firewall, and all. So this is all about our company overview and expertise. Now I'm moving ahead towards the webinar session on topic Conquer Cloud Obstacles, the AWS Well Architected Way. For our today's webinar, we are going to focus on some key concepts like shared responsibility model. Then we have importance of WAR, that is introduction, and why we have to apply WAR to the infrastructure. Then there are 6 pillars of well-architected review. And at the end, we have a case study which helps you to relate with the real-world use cases. And lastly, we have conclusion, which wrap up the ongoing benefits of conducting WAR and continuously optimizing their AWS environment for their long-term success. So first, we are going to discuss about the shared responsibility model. So the shared responsibility model, which is the fundamental concept of AWS cloud security, that divides the responsibilities between AWS and its customers. So AWS responsibility is like securing the infrastructure that powers the cloud, means data center, hardware, networking, and the customers are responsible for securing what they put into the cloud, that is including their data, identity management, application, and configuration. So AWS is responsible for security of the cloud infrastructure, which means that AWS ensures that the physical infrastructure, including the hardware, software, networking, and the facilities that run AWS cloud services, which is secure and compliant. We can take an example like suppose there is any builder uh, who provider of a building where you rent a space. So he ensures that the building has a strong locks, then securing wiring and reliable power. So likewise, AWS protect your infrastructure that powers your cloud operation. So coming to the customer responsibility, so like AWS secure the underlying infrastructure, customers are responsible for securing everything in the cloud, including their data, applications, access control, and configuration. So this includes how customers use AWS services, secure their application, and manage access to their accounts. So as I said, AWS shared responsibility model divide cloud security into two categories, which is AWS is responsible for security of the cloud, and while customers are responsible for security in the cloud. So this shared responsibility model ensures that AWS handles the heavy lifting of infrastructure security, which allowing you to focus on securing your data, workloads, and applications. Understanding all these things help you to implementing the best practices, and this shared responsibility help you to maintaining a secure and efficient cloud environment. Now the main topic of our webinar, which is a well-architected review. So we are going to discuss a critical process of maintaining operational excellence, security, reliability, cost optimization, performance efficiency, and sustainability in AWS environment, that is AWS well-architected review. In today's webinar, we walk through the well-architected framework in details, show how the review works, and discuss benefits which can bring to your organization. Uh, you might explain that the war process is like a health check for your cloud environment, which identifying areas for improvement and maximize the performance and reliability. The well-architected framework was designed to help your cloud architect to build secure and high-performing and efficient infrastructure for their application. We focus on six key pillars, which is included in what that is operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. So we have why would we apply AWS architected framework? So the well-architected review enables you to accelerate your build and deployment process. By following the best practices of AWS and guidelines, you can gain a clear visibility into how to architect your workloads for speed and agility. By addressing issues like misconfiguration, vulnerabilities, and areas that lack resiliency, AWS well-architected review helps you to identify and mitigate potential threats before they impact your business. This proactive approach significantly reduces risk related to security breaches, system downtime, and operational inefficiency. AWS War provides you with a clear, actionable insights, which allows you to make strategic decisions that are aligned with both your current needs and long-term goals. AWS War encourages continuous improvement where you are not making decisions based on a one-time evolution, but instead building a roadmap for ongoing optimization with each review. You will be better equipped to make informed adjustments that keep your infrastructure in line with evolving AWS best practices. AWS well-architected review provide you with in-depth knowledge of AWS best practices for designing and managing your workloads. So we have these main six pillars of well-architected review, which contain operational excellence, security, reliability, then performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. And we are going to discuss each of them in detail. So let's start with the first pillar, and we discuss some design principles, some for operational excellence. So in the operational excellence pillar of AWS well-architected review, the focus is on continuously improving operations to support your business goals using some best practices that enable the agility and resilience. So first we have performance operations with code. So performing operations with code, often referred to as the infrastructure as the code, which allows you to automate operational tasks like deployment, scaling, and monitoring. So by having these processes, you reduce the chance of human error and improve your consistency. This all is important because automating operations with code ensures that repetitive tasks are handled efficiently, making it easier to manage complex environments while increasing reliability. The second one we have make regular small incremental changes. So implementing the small and incremental changes in your infrastructure or application reduces risk and makes it easier to identify and fix issues if they arise. And we also have continuous integration and continuous deployment, that is the CI/CD pipeline, which are a key part of this process. This is important because regular small updates are easier for test, for monitoring and rollback if needed, which help you to minimizing the impact on your production environment. The next we have test for responses to unexpected events. So regularly testing your system's response to unexpected events like server failures, network issues, or any sudden spike happen in traffic related issues. So it ensures your environment can withstand and recover from disruption. And by simulating real world failure scenarios, you can prepare your team and system for unexpected events, improving resilience and reducing recovery time. Next, learn from operational events and failure. So, post-incident analysis is critical for a continuous improvement. After an operational event or failure, it is important that to review what happened, identify the root causes, and implement some lessons which learn to prevent future occurrence. So, learning from both successes and failure has built more resilient system and continuously improve operational processes. Then we have keep operations procedure current. So operational procedure must be regularly updated to reflect new tools, processes, and technologies, which ensures that the procedure stay relevant and that your team is always equipped to handle the latest challenges. And this is important because outdated procedure can lead to inefficient operation, missed opportunities for improvement, and inability to effectively respond to the incident. Then there are some key services for operational excellence in AWS. There for a preparation, you have AWS Cloud Formation and AWS Config. Same for the operations, we have Cloud Formation, AWS Config, CloudTrail, AWS CloudWatch. And for responses, we have AWS, same the four of the services like Cloud Formation, Config, CloudTrail, and CloudWatch. Moving to the second pillar, which is security, uh, we have first apply security at all layers. So when it comes to the securing your infrastructure, it is important to apply security at every layer, from your network to the application code. So AWS provides a multi-layered approach to security, which allow you to safeguard every component of your architecture. That is, at the application level, you can use AWS WAF to protect against the threats like SQL injections or DDoS attacks, or integrate secure coding practices. Second one, enable traceability. So in enable traceability ensures you that you have visibility into all actions and events happening in your AWS environment, which means you can monitor, audit, and trace activities across your entire infrastructure. Using the CloudTrail or Amazon CloudWatch, you can log every API call, track user activity, and set up the alerts for your suspicious behavior happening in your infrastructure. So these kind of traceability allows you to quickly identify potential security threats and respond to them in a real time. It also ensures you have a detailed audit trail for compliance purpose, and which this is help your organization to meet regulatory requirements as well. The third one, we have implement principle of least privileges. So the principle of least privileges detects that user and application should have the minimum level of access necessary to perform their tasks, and this reduce the risk of unauthorized access and limit potential damages from compromised accounts. The fourth one, we have automate security best practices. So in a modern cloud environment, security is not something you do once. It needs to be continuously monitored and updated. So automating security best practices helps ensure that your infrastructure stays compliant and secure as your workloads evolve. So AWS has provided several tools for automation, like you can use AWS config to continuously monitor compliance and automatically apply security configurations to the resources. Then there is a AWS Lambda, which can be used to trigger automated responses to security events. Then for security, security can also be checked to integrated into your CI/CD pipeline using the tools like AWS Code Pipeline or AWS Inspector, which ensuring that any security misconfigurations are caught before they go live. By applying security at all layers, enabling traceability, implementing least privileges, and automating security best practices, you are not only protecting your workloads but also ensuring long-term security compliance and mitigate risk proactively. So in security also, we have some key services, and we can use that services under areas like for identity and access management. We have AWS IAM, that is AWS Identity Access Management Service, and we also have MFA token. For detective controls, we have CloudTrail, Cloud AWS Config, and AWS CloudWatch. For infrastructure protection, we have Amazon VPC. And data protection, we have Elastic Load Balancing, then Amazon EBS, S3, Amazon RDS, and Amazon Key Management Services. And for the incident responses, we have AWS IAM and AWS Cloud Formation. So the next pillar we have reliability. Uh, In the reliability pillar of AWS well architected review, we focus on ensuring that how your system can recover quickly from failures, scale effectively, and handle changes without disruption. So sometimes it is not possible to test your recovery processes regularly to ensure that they work as expected when needed. So AWS has offered tools like AWS Backup and Cloud Endure Disaster Recovery to simulate failures and create a disaster recovery plan. So it is important by testing recovery procedures in a real world scenario, organization can quickly identify gaps, minimizes the downtime, and ensure their systems are resilient to failure. The second principle that we have is automatically recover from failure. So AWS provides some built-in automation tools like auto scaling, Amazon EC2 auto recovery, and elastic load balancing. So these tools are used to automatically detect and recover from failures. This automated recovery reduces manually intervention, minimizing the impact of failures and ensuring continuous service availability. The third, we have scale horizontally to increase aggregate system availability. So instead of relying on a single large server, scaling horizontally involves adding more instance or resource to handle increased demand. Uh, Services like Amazon EC2, RDS, or DynamoDB support horizontal scaling. Scaling horizontally improves reliability by distributing the load across multiple instances, ensuring that if one instance fails, other can continue handling the traffic. The fourth one we have stop gazing capacity. So AWS services like auto scaling and AWS Lambda, which is dynamically adjust resources based on demand, eliminating the need for manual capacity planning. So this approach ensures that your infrastructure has the right amount of resource at all times, reducing over provisioning or under provisioning, both of which can lead to reliability issues. The last we have managed change in automation. So managing changes manually increases the risk of error and failure. So by automating routine tasks like infrastructure deployment and patching with tools like Amazon Cloud Formation, AWS System Manager, and a code deploy, organization can ensure consistency and reduce human errors. So automated change management leads to more reliable and stable systems as automated processes are less prone to mistakes and can scale easily. In reliability, we have key services like AWS, IAM, and VPC, which is work on the areas like foundation, and AWS CloudTrail, AWS config, working on the areas like change management, and AWS Cloud Formation work on the failure management. So the next pillar we have performance efficiency, in which we have democratized advanced technology. So AWS provides the access to advanced technologies like AI, machine learning, analytics, and big data. So these all are without requiring organizations to invest heavily in expertise or infrastructure. This democratization allows your business of all sizes to leverage cutting-edge technology without specialized skill or large budgets. So this is important for your organization to like democratizing advanced technology allows even small and medium-sized business to innovate and compete at the same level as a large enterprise. Second one we have go global in minutes, which means that With AWS global infrastructure, you can deploy applications and services across the multiple regions worldwide in just a few clicks, which ensures your workloads are closer to your customers, reducing latency and improving user experiences. So why it matters? So going global in minutes allow businesses to quickly expand their presence and serve customers with the low latency, high performance applications, no matter where they are located. The third one we have use serverless architecture. So serverless computing allows you to build and run applications without provisioning or managing servers like AWS Lambda, DynamoDB, or AWS or Amazon API Gateway, which handle infrastructure management, allows you to focus on your application code and business logic. This serverless architecture automatically scale with demand and only charge you for what you use, which increases performance efficiency while reducing the cost. The last one we have experiment more often. So AWS enables rapid experimentation through its pay-as-you-go model and scalable services. You can quickly set up test environments, try some new configurations, and iterate on your designs without significant upfront cost. So frequent experimentation allows organization to innovate faster and find optimal solutions without being constrained by hardware limitation or long procurement process. In performance efficiency, we have a key services like AWS, EBS, auto scaling, Amazon S3, Amazon Glacier, Amazon DynamoDB, or RDS, which work on the areas like selection. Then we have CloudFormation or AWS Blog, which is work on the review process. Then Amazon CloudWatch, Amazon Lambda, then S3 Bucket, Glacier, DynamoDB, and RDS. These all services are also work on monitoring. And for a trade-off, we have Amazon CloudFront, Amazon Elastic Cache, and Amazon Snowball, AWS Snowball. Then the fifth pillar we have cost optimization. For cost optimization, we have a design, principal design that is adopt a consumption model. So adopt a consumption model, AWS operates on a pay-as-you-go model, which means you only pay for the resource you actually use. So this approach helps reduce waste compared to the traditional infrastructure. And adopting these models allows your business to scale their infrastructure dynamically based on the demand and leading to the cost savings. We have services like AWS Lambda. You pay only for the compute time your code uses. If no requests are made, you incur zero cost, eliminating the expenses of your server. Then the second principle that we have is benefits from economies of scale. So AWS global infrastructure operates at a massive scale, allowing customers to benefit from lower costs. As AWS grows, it passes the saving onto its customers through lower pricing for services. Using the AWS services allow businesses to take advantages of economies of scale without investing in costly infrastructure, resulting in more competitive pricing. Like Amazon have Amazon S3, the cost per gigabyte decreases as your usage increases. So large data storage requirements are more economical on AWS. Then the third principle we have stop spending money on data center operations. So moving to AWS allows business to stop managing physical data centers, which involves significant costs like electricity, cooling, hardware. maintenance, and physical security. So by eliminating the need for data center operations, companies can focus on innovation and improving their services instead of managing. Instead of maintaining a physical server, a company can migrate its infrastructure to AWS so they can save on upfront capital expenses and also ongoing operational costs. Then the fourth principle we have analyze and attribute expenditure. So AWS provides tools like AWS Cost Explorer, AWS Budget, and AWS Cost Usage Reports, which help businesses gain insight into their cloud spending. So these tools allows you to track, monitor, and allocate costs to specific services, departments, and projects. By analyzing expenditure, your businesses can make data-driven decisions to optimize their cloud spending. This helps identify areas where cost can be reduced or resource can be reallocated more efficiently. Your company might use a AWS Cost Explorer to identify underutilized EC2 instances and reduce cost by downsizing or determining them. Then the fifth principle we have use managed services to reduce cost of ownership. By using these managed services like AWS RDS, AWS Lambda, Amazon DynamoDB, you avoid the need for additional personnel to manage infrastructure. Managed services reduces the total cost of ownership by offloading the operational burden and allowing you to focus on core business objectives rather than on managing infrastructure. You can use Amazon RDS to manage a relational database, which eliminates the need for database administrator to handle the backup, replication, or significantly lower operational costs. For the cost optimization, we have a key services like Reserved Instance and AWS Trusted Advisor, which work for the cost-effective resource. We have auto scaling service, which used for supply and demand. Then Amazon CloudWatch and Amazon SNS we have, which is used for expenditure awareness. And Amazon AWS Blog and some new services are there for optimizing the overtime. Then the last pillar we have a sustainability. For sustainability focus is on reducing the environmental impact on your cloud workloads. So the first principle that we have is to understand your impact. The first step in improving sustainability is understanding the carbon footprint of your cloud operations. AWS provides tools like the AWS Customer Carbon Footprint tool, which help businesses to visualize and track their cloud-based carbon emissions. So this is important because by understanding your environmental impact, you can make data-driven decisions to reduce carbon emissions and energy consumption. The second principle we have established sustainability goals. Setting measurable sustainability goals helps align your organization's cloud strategy with broader environmental objectives. AWS encourages businesses to set goals for carbon reduction, energy efficiency, and resource optimization. So this is used for defining clear sustainability goals, which allows organizations to track progresses and ensure their cloud operations align with global environmental standards. The third principle we have maximize utilization. So maximizing the resource utilization means ensuring that cloud resources are used efficiently, reducing waste and energy consumption. AWS services like autoscaling, AWS Lambda, and Amazon EC2 Spot Instance allows for dynamic resource allocation with actual demand. And high resource utilization reduce idle capacity, ensuring that energy and resource are not wasted on underutilized infrastructure. The fourth principle that we have is use managed services. AWS managed services like Amazon RDS, Amazon DynamoDB, and AWS Lambda, which taking care of infrastructure management, resource optimization, and scaling. So these services are designed to operate efficiently using fewer resources compared to self-managed infrastructure. And this is important because managed services are optimized for energy efficiency and resource management, which reduces the environmental impact of running workloads on AWS. The fifth principle that we have is reduce the downstream impacts of your cloud workload. So reducing downstream impact is considering the life cycle of cloud-based products and services, including how end user interact with your system. By optimizing code and infrastructure for efficiency, you can reduce the overall energy consumed by user interacting with your workload. And this is important because sustainable cloud practices go beyond your own operations and it extend to the energy usage of your customers or end user, making a positive impact on the overall ecosystem. For sustainability pillar, we have a key services like Amazon S3, which working on the storage optimization. Then we have Amazon AWS Lambda and AWS SageMaker, which is used for serverless compute and resource scaling. And the CloudWatch is used for monitoring and optimization. So we have a case study where we working on the leading financial company. The that client was facing some inefficiencies in their manual workforce, which leading to some challenges like they have delays in processing transaction, then scalability to meet growing business demands. Then there is a delays in generating reports, flexibility to adapt to challenging needs, and there are also delays in responding to the customer inquiries. So Cloud.in has provided solution as we are an advanced consulting partner, we leverage the AWS well-architected framework that is WAR activity to assess the client's current infrastructure and identify the areas where improvement needed. So war activity help in cost optimization, like identifying underutilized resource and recommending cost saving measures like reserve instance or spot instance. In for performance optimization, we analyze application performance bottlenecks and suggesting solution like scaling instances or utilizing AWS caching services like Elastic Cache. For security, we review security posture and recommending best practices for access control, data encryption, and incident response. For reliability improvement, we analyze their architecture for a single point of failure and suggesting the solution for redundancy and high availability. Then after doing the war activity, uh, and by migrating their infrastructure on AWS and implementing the war activity recommendations, that financial company achieves some significant benefits like reduce processing time for their transaction and reports, then improve customer services with faster response times to inquiries. Also, they have increased scalability and flexibility to meet future business needs. Then they enhance security posture with AWS built-in security features and reduce IT infrastructure cost through their cost optimization strategy. So today we have covered how adopting AWS Wall can be enhanced reliability through automated recovery, testing, and scaling strategies. Then improving some cost efficiency by leveraging a pay-as-you-go model, managed services, and AWS tools for the cost analysis. Boost the security by applying best practices like least privileges and automated security checks. Optimizes performance by using scalable and high performing resource and taking advantages of AWS global infrastructure. By applying the well architected principles, their business can be mitigate risk for more effectively, optimizes cloud operation for better performance and cost saving, and also drive innovation while ensuring their system are resilient and prepared for a future growth. So thank you so much everyone for attending today's webinar.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thanks for such an informative sessions. Let me quickly check if there are any questions.
Yes.
There are no questions so far. The session is open for Q&A. If anyone is having any questions, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you, or else you can type in your questions in the question section. And now that you have gained a solid understanding of AWS well-architected framework, it's time to take action. Here are some ways you can get started. You can schedule a free well-architected review of your AWS infrastructure with our cloud expert, or you can contact to us at sales@cloud.in to get in touch with sales team, and we'll take the discussion ahead. Sakshi, there are no questions, so I guess we can conclude the session. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope this webinar has sparked your curiosity and empowered you to explore the possibilities, whatever you can do with the AWS well-architected framework. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much.